120th minute at Education City Stadium, Carlos Soler steps up to the white penalty spot. 80,000 people, all standing, all silent. He strikes the ball, but Bono saves it easily. Spain thought football could be controlled. This was the slow, painful death of tiki-taka. Spain completed 1,019 passes in that single match. A masterclass in sterile possession, circulating the ball without damage. But the scoreboard does not lie. They passed the ball sideways until they passed themselves into tragedy. Then came the quiet transition of power. Luis de la Fuente was appointed to lead the rebuild. Many believed the transition was simple. It was not. He wanted verticality, speed, raw physical aggression. Spain no longer wanted to control the ball. They wanted to attack it. Spain refuses to control football. Spain 26, the team that refuses to control football. For 2 decades, Spanish football was defined by a single dogma. Possession was no longer a religion of safety, not when the world was running faster, and not when Spain's survival depended on attacking the spaces they ignored. In modern football, control is often just an illusion we buy to avoid facing chaos. Luis de la Fuente tore up the old tactical blueprint completely. He introduced a direct, high-intensity 4-3-3 system. Midfielders no longer check backward to recycle the ball safely. On their first touch, they look for vertical passing lanes. They do not circulate the ball sideways just to protect their own lines. They want to penetrate the lines immediately. Look at the pitch during transition phases. The ball travels forward with clean, rapid, vertical sequences. They use the wide spaces to isolate opposing fullbacks. They want to create constant, chaotic, one-on-one situations. Lamine Yamal on the right, Nico Williams on the left. 2 isolated weapons, running at defenders with absolute speed. This vertical structure denies defenders any time to recover their positions. It is direct, it is fast, it is completely unstoppable when executed in rhythm. But direct attacking invite rapid turnovers. When Spain loses the ball, the defensive engine begins. They trigger an intense 5-second counter-pressing storm. The players swarm the ball carrier immediately, blocking passing lanes. It is a frantic scramble of loose balls and recovery sprints. Opponents are forced to clear the ball long under pressure. If the press fails, Spain drops into a compact mid-block. They prepare to absorb and launch another rapid vertical strike. This is a delicate, dangerous balance. It is order trying to survive in a game of absolute chaos. The old Spain sought security through infinite possession. The new Spain embraces the inherent risk of transition. This tactical evolution was not just a stylistic choice. It was a necessity for survival in a faster, more physical, modern era. By letting go of absolute control, they discovered a new way to dominate. They invite the chaos to conquer it. It starts with the master chess player. Rodri stands alone in the center of the pitch. Every Spanish attack flows through his feet. While chaos rages around him, Rodri manages spatial order. He positions himself to intercept the clearance. The system looks simple from the outside. It is not. It is a fragile machine. He is the absolute ceiling and floor of this team. Without him, the entire vertical structure collapses instantly. On the right flank, Lamine Yamal provides the uncontrolled lightning. He reties his laces twice. He does not look up. At 18 years old, he carries the creative expectations of a nation. He has the MVP pedigree of Euro 24. His body feints are unpredictable, throwing defenders off balance. He drifts inside to create passing lanes or drives down the line. He turns quiet possessions into sudden, lethal damage. He plays with a fearless joy that older players envy. On the left flank, Nico Williams offers raw, explosive velocity. He does not slow down to think about options. He simply accelerates past fullbacks with pure speed. His sprints stretch the opposition defense vertically. This forces the opponent to drop their defensive lines deep. He creates wide spaces for midfielders to exploit. When he runs, the stadium holds its breath. He is the raw threat that cannot be ignored. Pedri is the silent connector between defense and midfield. He operates in the tight pocket spaces that others avoid. His football intelligence allows him to create instant advantages. He links the defensive structure of Rodri to the wings. Pedri does not need speed to beat an aggressive press. He only needs spatial awareness and half a yard. His touches are subtle, yet they change the entire attack. He is the brain that bridges the speed. Dani Carvajal is the grizzled war veteran. The plastic tape on his wrist is sticky. He provides the raw aggression and winning mentality they need. Great teams are not built by matching perfect pieces, but by balancing contrasting flaws. Carvajal does not back down from physical duels. He chases down wingers with recovery sprints. He screams instructions, demanding defensive intensity from the youth. He represents the survival instinct of a multi-time champion. He is the grit that holds the beauty together. The defensive spine completes the structure. Unai Simon provides modern ball distribution from the back. Aymeric Laporte and Robin Lenormand maintain strict discipline. They defend under pressure when the high press is broken. They absorb the chaotic counterattacks that this system invites. Their stability allows the front line to play without fear. They are the shield of Spain's vertical sword. The journey to 26 was forged in UEFA qualifying matches. Between September and November 25, Spain faced their test. There was no room for error or nostalgia. Every match was a trial for this young squad. They had to show they could win without absolute possession. They needed to leave the past behind. Against Bulgaria, the system was perfect. A 4-0 victory that showcased a new identity. Lamine Yamal was completely unstoppable on the right wing. His one-on-one dribbling drew defenders out of position. This created open shooting lanes for the second line. It was vertical, lethal football at its finest. Spain did not pass to kill time. They passed to score immediately. The qualifying campaign reached its peak against Georgia. A 4-0 victory that secured their ticket to the tournament. Rodri dominated the center of the pitch. He intercepted counterattacks before they could develop. He distributed the ball forward with absolute precision. The thing is, nobody warns you about the quiet matches. It was a masterclass in defensive recovery. Spain won, not by suffocating opponents, but by outfighting them. They earned their place through sweat and grit. The statistics tell a fascinating story. Spain stopped circulating the ball endlessly. They registered fewer passes per match than in 22. Yet, they doubled their shots on target. Their expected goals metric surged. The stats prove that Spain now attacks before defenses can breathe. They swapped passive possession for active, dangerous transitions. They chose damage over control. Victory is quiet. It is only the preparation that makes noise. The transition efficiency is remarkable. The efficiency of this transition is what defines them now, winning the ball deep and moving it through 3 vertical passes into the opponent box in 7 seconds. It is a rapid surge of red shirts. Midfielders release the wingers immediately. The ball travels forward with minimal touches. Defenders are caught in complete disarray. They cannot track the runners. It is speed, precision, and direct damage. But tournament football is not a stat sheet. The Morata Dilemma is the first crack. Alvaro Morata is the captain, but he is not a cold-blooded finisher. When knockout matches get tight, Spain lacks a goal scorer. Morata stands with his hands on his head. You try to explain the pressure to someone once. It doesn't come out right. You stop trying after that. He stares at the turf in frustration after missed chances. The doubt remains in his eyes. Can Spain survive without an elite killer? Then, the fear of systemic collapse. Rodri is the absolute ceiling and floor of Spain. The pressure makes breathing difficult. For a split second, his fingers tremble. Then they close. Hard. Nobody sees it. If he is neutralized, the entire midfield structure collapses. He stands bent over, breathing heavily under the weight. Spain has no backup for their master chess player. If Rodri falls, Spain falls with him. We must also consider the Yamal burden. Lamine Yamal is only 18. He rubs his hands on his shorts to dry the sweat, and then it's over. Just like that. Everyone knows his name. Nobody actually knows him. He carries the creative expectations of a whole nation. Under the lights, his nervous smile reveals his youth. He has never faced the brutal trauma of a knockout collapse. The pressure is immense, almost crushing. Can a teenager carry the hopes of a superpower? Spain's greatest strength is also their fatal flaw. When matches become chaotic, they tend to regress. They fall back into slow, sterile possession. They try to control chaos with static passes. The hardest thing to rebuild is not a system, but the confidence that was broken at the penalty spot. Luis de la Fuente stands frozen on the touchline. He watches his vertical engine slow down in panic. They try to order the chaos, only to be consumed. Finally, the ghosts of the past loom large. Penalties, PTSD, remains a haunting shadow. Spain remembers the shootout collapses against Russia and Morocco. Every time they look at the penalty spot, the ghosts of Moscow and Qatar return, not as tactical failures, but as the quiet realization that absolute control is a myth. The white penalty spot represents absolute terror. In the 120th minute, tactics do not matter. Only mental survival remains. 3 penalties missed in 22, the fear still lingers. In Group H, the ultimate test awaits. Uruguay, Marcelo Bielsa. The ultimate philosophical antagonist representing violent intensity, Bielsa brings relentless man-marking and emotional chaos. It is a collision of football philosophies. It is a battle of wills on neutral turf where Luis de la Fuente's structured order must survive Marcelo Bielsa's frantic, high-pressing chaos without dropping their composure for a second. This is not just a match, it is a tactical war. The air gets thin under the lights. For a second, the players on the screen stop making sense, the shirts blur, the lines swim, and then the coach refocuses, and they are just red shirts again. Can Spain's vertical possession survive this physical beating? Midfielders will have no time to scan. Rodri will be chased across every blade of grass. Carvajal will have to fight for every loose ball. Spain must match Uruguay's physical aggression without losing composure. If they break physically, their tactical structure will collapse. The physical test is absolute. And then it was over. But the story wasn't. The shootout is a memory Spain avoids. Recall Carlos Soler's head held down in 22. Now look at Lamine Yamal's confident smile under the lights. Spain is no longer the team that passed for safety. They have embraced the risk. They have acknowledged the ghosts of the past. In 22, Spain froze at the penalty spot. In 26, they may finally be ready to suffer. Maybe that's what a World Cup is, a test of what a country believes. If you want to understand the stories behind the scorelines, subscribe. The road to redemption is never easy. But Spain is ready to walk it.